Okay, so in previous sessions, we have seen how to create uh, Angular application, and we have seen few basics of the Angular application. Um, so we did see how to set up your Angular environment with various versions. Then we created application, and we did see the interpolation, and some the basic topics of your Angular application. So now, yeah, can you hear me now? Yeah. So now we are going to create a. So in our previous sessions in the API series, we have seen how to create an API with all the read write options, a complete patient information we have seen. And now we are going to create a client application. So the browser application in Angular, we are going to create, and so we start implementing. Uh, we start consuming the API, whatever we created earlier. So in that process, we will create the screens, we'll create the controls, and we fill the controls with the data, everything. So let me create an Angular application. So in the previous Angular applications, we have seen how to create Angular, install Angular specific version. So which version of Angular you are using, Pratyusha? Is that 10 dot? What is the version? Okay, so 10.8.2. Dot 8.2. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing now. So how to install the specific version? ng npm. Do you remember the command? Right, npm at the rate angular cli 10.8 dot. Okay, so this Angular version it's going to install in the in this folder. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll copy this. So I'll create another folder, client. I'll say client. So npm install at the rate angular cli at the rate 10 at the rate 10 dot 8 dot. No matching version found. Is that correct? 10.8.2. No matching version, a package version that does not exist. Okay, why it's not allowing? Maybe what was the version I installed earlier in my, let me see. Maybe the Node.js, whatever I have, it's not supporting. So Angular, so different Angular versions. I installed 10.2. Okay, let me do that. 10.2.3. Yeah, my node, I guess it's not supporting. I'll update my node later. It's going to install. It's still installing. Okay. Yeah. So now cd. So within the client, I'm going to create a mkdir code. Okay, so here I'm going to create ng. What is the command to create a new application? Ng new, yeah, patient, patient information. I would like to have a routing CSS. Okay, so cd patient information ng build. Okay, so it's going to build. Let's look at the code. Yeah, patient information. You can open this. Open. Yeah, so this is our client application, and we are going to add. Um, we are going to add the components to this application, and we will see what is that. Would you like to share anonymous? No. Yeah, compiling in progress. Okay, so ng serve hyphen o. Okay, so this is the application. So here in the app, so we are going to create a patient list. So basically we should have a patient list, then patient add, patient edit. Uh, so we need to have that information. Okay, so here create a folder. Okay, so understand here, this is our application. So we are going to remove this page and we are going to load a patient list. So whenever you are hitting this page, so you should see the patient list. So first we are going to work on the patient list. So here I am going to add a new SRC app. So ng generate component patient patient list. We'll call it as a patient list. Yes. So the patient list we are going to, okay, so this is the patient list. Come here and see, this is patient list. So where to change the menu? So in the app component.ts we have this. So we are going to remove everything. We are going to remove everything from here. We'll keep the outer router outlet. So here we say, in the previous example we have seen a link. Just copy that from the previous example. Open the file. Go to the temp labs, Angular. Was it first? I think it's first. SRC app. Where did we create? I think in the first we created that. So not this. SRC app. Yeah. Yeah, just navigation. Okay. So router outlet. We need to create a entry into the router outlet. So routing module. So in the routes, we are going to do that. So first we are going to import. What is that we are going to import? Patient information. Is it so into the SRC app, patient list, patient component, patient component, and here we are going to create the route. So even you can see the syntax for route. A routing module. So what is the syntax? Yeah, directly you should get this one if you are doing okay. So path equal to some key and component entity equal to your component. So path equal to uh, what is it you want to give? Patient list component equal to patient component. So here you should be seeing, yeah, patient list slash patient component. Yeah. So now in your app, so what is the key? It's patient list. So you're going to have a patient list here. Yeah, patient list here. Okay. And name it as patients. So when you when you run this, you should see that. Run this. Okay. Okay. So when you click on this, you should see the patient. This is patient list. Okay. So now in this patient list, we are going to hit the API. So this page is basically a page where you will display the list of patients. Okay. So from where you will get the patients list, we have an API. If you remember, in the previous sessions, we have created an API where with this Postman, we tested it. So basically, what I'm going to show. Okay. So this API we created earlier. Okay. So get all patients. So we are going to call this endpoint from this Angular application we created. And in this patient list component.html, we are going to retrieve the data from the API and we are going to display the data here. Okay. So for that, what we have to do, that we will see in the next sessions. So we are going to hit this API and the endpoint is get all patients. And when you hit the API, you will receive the data. And once you receive the data, you will display the data here. And once we display all the patients list, then we will also create a page where you will create a patient information, and that's going to hit this API endpoint and it will create data into the database. So this will be for edit. When you are clicking on a specific patient, I'm going to call this endpoint. I'm going to get the data, and I'll display it for the user. And user, I'll display the data for the user in this in this application by creating a patient edit form. And once the patient detail edited in the application and click on submit, I'm going to call this updated patient information, and it's going to update the database. And finally, we are going to delete by using this endpoint. So from this Angular application, you are going to click on a delete button, and that's going to delete the patient from the database. So any questions? So now onwards, the Angular application will be uh, like it looks like in the previous sessions we have seen some training purpose simple Angular application, but now the Angular application whatever we are going to create, similar it looks a similar real-time website, and which will call the API, get the API, and everything from the API. So try to create the same Angular path or the Angular application, whatever I have created. And so we'll keep adding the components, we'll keep adding the code to our uh, Angular application. Any questions? And Pratyusha, did your issue got fixed? You're unable to create the app module.ts when you created an Angular application. Is it still an issue, or you're okay? So have you tried the 10.2.3, the version which I created now? Yeah. So yeah, it's 10. It's 10. Yes. Try creating on this version. This is also like latest version only. Latest means it's a still you can create applications in 10.2.3. So it's not a deprecated or very old version. Okay, so in tomorrow's session, we are going to see how to connect to the API by using the Angular application. So yeah.